$1.5 million from a 91-year-old widow in New York and went up all the way to
He also stole from Al Pacino and many others. Ken Starr, we believe that the rumors have it that hold on, let me clarify. The Ken Starr he's referring to is not the Ken Starr who is now out of Pepperdine College here in Los Angeles, and not the guy in...
No, we're not referring to the special prosecutor, Ken Starr.
That's right. That Ken Starr is not this Ken Starr. Wes, before we bring in Judge Brown, if these certs fail, these Westland appeals fail, are you nervous?
I think any man would be nervous if his liberty is at stake, Larry. Given the length of time that they're suggesting that I'd be away from my family, away from my profession, away from my ability to provide for my family and for those who have depended upon me, to contribute to society goodwill through the works that we do and the productions that we have. I think anyone would be nervous about that. But right now, Larry, I'm more upset and disappointed that the system seems to not be working for me. And
we'll be back with Wesley. Hold on. We'll be right back with Wesley Snipes. Dan Meacham will be joined by Judge Joe Brown. Don't go away.
Over the...
We're back, and by the way, you're looking live right now at the McKeon Federal Prison in Pennsylvania. That's where Wesley Snipes has been ordered to report this Thursday. He's been sentenced to 3 years, convicted of failure to file federal income tax forms. Judge Joe Brown, with a character reference for Wesley Snipes during the sentencing phase of the case, he joins us to discuss it. What's your thought on this?
Well, first off, I am somewhat appalled at what I think is selective prosecution. Let's get to some of the facts nobody has brought out here. Over the last decade, it seems like Mr. Snipes has paid a bit over $30 million in income tax. When you're talking about failure to file the tax return versus evasion, one, simply not filing the return even though your taxes may have actually been paid. Failing to pay taxes is not paying the taxes, and evasion...
File, right?
Yes, you still have to file, but you may have paid. So what you usually get as a practical matter, sir, is that people on the low end who have had W-2 deductions from their paychecks and the money sent in, they don't file and they don't get the refund. I guess the government gets to keep their money longer. And on the other end,
what's the point here?
Well, the point is here, when you get somebody on his end, he makes a lot of money. And he's got people filing returns, and there are a lot of papers you get. You sign stuff, you may not be aware of the fact that that particular thing has not been filed on your behalf, but you paid your tax. He's paid $30 million at least in taxes over the last decade.
Why did this judge give him 3 years?
I don't understand that. We have a disparate sentencing here. He walked into the courtroom on the day of his sentencing with a certified bank check for $6.5 million to present to the U.S. attorneys in the case. They refused to accept it. Judge was a little set out about that, but it turns out, first off, his total liability that was proved at trial was $240,000, and that wasn't failure to pay taxes. It was just the inappropriate forms that had been filed. The other thing that's important about this case is Ken Starr, who was, as you say, not the one that's a professor here in town, and with the Clinton administration, but another had been turned in by Mr. Snipes some years ago, blew the whistle on it. And the firm that wound up as co-defendants with Mr. Snipes. Mr. Snipes had divested himself of any connection with them. Now, this is what bothers me. They indicted this whole corps that ran this tax firm. They had 4,200 some clients. They indicted one client, Wesley Snipes, who had never been anywhere near that area.
Why would they have him?
Because it's gamesmanship. Quite frankly, in the legal profession, particularly in the criminal aspect, people brag about what's on the wall in their trophy rooms.
And West was a trophy.
West was a trophy.
We'll be right back with more right after this. Perry and Queen Latifah, Jane Lynch presented Kathy Griffin with their Life Award. Our King Cam was on the red carpet, and you can see it at .com/Larry King. Let's check in with Anderson Cooper. What's up tonight, Anderson?
Tonight, Larry, of course, we'll be reporting on the life and death of Elizabeth Edwards. A believer. Difference with your and I want to hear me.
From Naples, Florida. Hello.
Larry, congratulations on all your
Thank you. Thank you. What's the question?
Leslie, I'm wondering if you do have to go to prison, and I wish you the best of luck, but if you do have to, would you go in there and try to make a difference with your celebrity and with your talent, or will you just want to go in and kind of get the 3 years done and out of the way?
Well, I'm an artist to the core, and my objective has always been to use my talents and my talent to elevate humanity through my art. I don't see that changing, whether I'm out or whether I'm in. And I'm still
Los Angeles, hello. Los Angeles, you're next. Go ahead.
Mr. King, thank you so much for having me on. Mr. Snipes, first of all, huge fan. So sorry you're in this situation. I wish you and your family the best.
Keep praying for us, brother. Keep praying.
Definitely. Mr. Meacham, I just want to qualify this first at saying the late Aaron Russo, he was producer of films such as The Rose and others, set out to see if there was a law requiring people to file an income tax. And Mr. Meacham, I'm wondering, do you know the law or the statute that requires an average working class citizen to file taxes or to pay an unapportioned direct tax known as the federal income tax?
Do you know that, Dan?
I think Section 61 of the IRS code basically says that income is from whatever source derives, and therefore you should pay taxes on it. And let me to the jury's question. To the caller's question. Let me say it this way: Mr. Snipes never challenged whether or not your question is in fact one that needed to be decided.
He was not a tax.
He was not a tax.
These were all allegations and claims made through the media and the press. You know, it was really what was very interesting is that when you say the list of movies that I've been in, you know, if you know anything about being cast in a film with some of the major stars that I was blessed to be working with, you have to go through a certain vetting. You have to go through a certain approval. And your character is a part of that judgment, is a part of that vetting. It's very interesting to me that I haven't been given the benefit of the doubt, and the media has spun this and put this in a context where he is. It's almost as if they thought I really was Nino Brown instead of Wesley Snipes.
Let me get a break and come back with our remaining moments right after this. Just all too few of them, with Wes Snipes as attorney Dan Meacham and Judge Joe Brown. Others have been convicted of this and didn't do time.
Yeah, that's right. It's like totally disproportionate. He's going to wind up getting more time out of this than major felons have for many millions of dollars of unpaid taxes and outright evasion, which it's just not called for because he does so much good out. We've got sitting back in the green room some top-tier, shall we say, operatives who came back from Afghanistan. They show moral support because they think he's a good guy and he boosts the troops' morale, like John Wayne or Bob Hope or entertainers that said, I'm about the American way. This man has not tried to evade anybody's taxes, and he got caught in a bad situation.
Wes, why didn't you come out? You said that the media treated you harshly, and why didn't you come out before this?
Two reasons, Larry. One, my mother told me, said, if you don't have any good thing to say about anybody, then say none at all. And thou shalt not bear false witness upon another person. The second reason was that I was under the belief that the system would work and would treat me fairly. I had faith in the system. I had faith in the concept and the theory